December 4th, 2024. Midtown Manhattan. The air is freezing. The city is waking up to the rhythm of sirens and steam rising from the subways. Brian Thompson, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare, one of the most powerful corporations in the world, is walking toward the Hilton Hotel. He is surrounded by the invisible armor of wealth. He believes he is untouchable. But he is wrong. Waiting for him in the shadows is not a professional hitman hired by a rival. It isn't a mugger looking for quick cash. It is a ghost. A figure masked in black, standing perfectly still amidst the chaos of New York City. The weapon in his hand wasn't smuggled across borders. It wasn't bought in a dark alley. It was born in a machine, a 3D printed ghost gun. Plastic polymers, layered one by one, engineered to kill and then vanish without a trace. In our cyberpunk reality, murder has become downloadable. 3 shots ring out. The CEO falls, but the shooter doesn't run in panic. He walks, he observes, and he leaves behind a signature. 3 brass casings found on the cold pavement. 3 words etched into the metal with surgical precision: delay, deny, defend. It was a chilling reference to the book exposing the insurance industry's calculated tactics to maximize profits at the cost of human life. As the smoke cleared and the news broke, the world realized this wasn't just an execution. It was a manifesto written in blood. And the messenger? Luigi Mangione, an Ivy League engineer, a wealthy heir, a former valedictorian. And now, the central figure of the most divisive criminal case of 2025. New evidence from the December hearings reveals a man who wasn't acting out of sudden insanity, but out of cold, mathematical calculation. Let's deconstruct the glitch in the system. To understand the suspect, we have to peel back the layers of his digital existence. On paper, Luigi Mangione was the embodiment of the American dream. Handsome, intelligent, born into a prominent real estate family in Maryland. He had a master's degree in computer science. He was the golden boy who had the world at his feet. But beneath the surface, there was a fracture. Literally. Medical history and his own digital footprint reveal a man trapped in a private hell. Luigi suffered from a severe condition known as spondylolisthesis. It is a structural collapse of the spine where the vertebrae slip out of place. He underwent surgeries. He had industrial screws inserted into his back to hold his body together. But the surgery didn't bring the relief he was promised. In the dark corners of Reddit and health forums, he documented his descent into agony. He wrote about visual snow, a neurological condition where his vision was constantly overlaid with static, like a detuned television channel. He wrote about brain fog, a cognitive decline that he claimed was stealing his intellect, making him feel like a prisoner in his own mind. Imagine the psychological toll. A brilliant engineer, accustomed to solving complex problems, faced with a problem he couldn't solve: his own body. Despite his family's millions, he expressed a deep, burning frustration with the American healthcare system. While UnitedHealth Group reported record-breaking profits, while their stock prices climbed, Luigi was reportedly bedridden. He felt abandoned by the very system designed to heal him. Pain is a dangerous thing. Chronic pain strips away patience. It erodes empathy. It changes the chemical balance of the brain. It can turn a sufferer into a soldier. For Luigi, the enemy wasn't just a disease. It was the corporation. He began to see the skyscrapers of insurance companies not as businesses, but as monuments to greed. And on that cold December morning, he decided to bring the war to their doorstep. The manhunt lasted 5 days. 5 days of paranoia. 5 days where every siren in New York City screamed his name. The media portrayed him as a phantom, a high-tech assassin who had vanished into the ether. But the end of the manhunt was not a cinematic shootout. It was a moment of supreme absurdity. Police cornered him at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania. They expected a desperate struggle. They expected a man on the edge. Instead, they found a man sitting calmly at a table, eating a hash brown, looking at a laptop. When the officers approached, he didn't reach for a weapon. He simply looked up. Inside his backpack, investigators found the tools of his trade: the 3D printed pistol, the silencer, the mask. But they also found a window into his psychology, a notebook, a handwritten to-do list. It reads like the log of a software engineer debugging a code, but the code was reality itself. Check cameras, avoid tolls, and a chilling detail written in ink: pluck eyebrows. A note to alter his appearance. It screams of narcissism and of meticulous, almost robotic planning. He was trying to engineer his own disappearance. And we must address the rumors. Early internet theories claimed he carried monopoly money to mock the system. That was a myth. There was no monopoly money, just thousands of dollars in cash and the cold, hard tools of evasion. He wasn't fleeing in blind panic. He was following a script he had written for himself. But even the best scripts have plot holes. And his plot hole was a McDonald's employee who recognized him and made the call. The ghost was caught by the mundane reality of the surveillance state. The arrest should have been the end of the story. Justice is served. Case closed. Instead, it was the beginning of a cultural war that tore the internet apart. The McDonald's employee who spotted him was doxxed. Instead of being hailed as a hero, she was labeled a rat by thousands of users online. Her social media was flooded with hate. Why? Why would the public turn against a witness who helped catch a murderer? Because for millions of Americans who have faced the brutal reality of claim denied, Luigi Mangione became a symbol. He became an avatar for their rage. We live in a time where the gap between the ultra-rich and the average citizen has never been wider. UnitedHealthcare is a company that has been under investigation for antitrust violations. A company accused of using algorithms to mass deny claims for elderly patients to save seconds of processing time. When Luigi pulled that trigger, a disturbing segment of the internet didn't see a crime. They saw retribution. They labeled him a dark hero, a modern-day Robin Hood who targeted the king, not the peasants. It got stranger. Look-alike contests began popping up in New York parks. Young men dressed in hoodies and masks, mimicking his appearance. Merchandise with his face began selling online. Free Luigi became a trending hashtag. It is a dystopian phenomenon. It shows that when a system is perceived as fundamentally broken, the public's moral compass begins to glitch. The stories poured in. Christopher, the Penn State student, denied life-saving medication because it was too expensive. The cancer patients told to wait for scans until the cancer was untreatable. Mothers, fathers, children who died fighting for coverage. Their tragedies became Luigi's shield. He didn't just shoot a man, he shot a symbol of corporate indifference. And in doing so, he became a mirror reflecting the ugliest parts of our society. Now, the spectacle moves from the streets to the courtroom. In the recent pre-trial hearings of December 2025, the reality of his situation set in. Luigi appeared not as the mysterious assassin, but as a prisoner in a beige jumpsuit. But his demeanor was unsettling. He smiled at the cameras, a smirk that seemed to say, "I know you're watching." He shouted about the intelligence of the American people, playing to his audience even while in chains. But there was one moment that defined his state of mind more than any manifesto. As he was being led into the courtroom, his heavy steel shackles caught on the floor. He stumbled. The heavy metal clattered against the polished wood. He recovered his balance, looked straight ahead, and didn't ask for mercy. He simply muttered, It's okay. I'll have to get used to it. I'll have to get used to it. Think about those words. Is that acceptance? Is it the resignation of a man who knows his life is over? Or is it arrogance? The confidence of a man who believes the sacrifice was worth the punishment. The judge will decide on the admissibility of the evidence in May 2026. The death penalty is firmly on the table. Prosecutors are painting him as a cold-blooded terrorist who targeted the fabric of society. His defense is painting a picture of a brilliant mind broken by pain and a corrupt system. But outside those courtroom walls, the healthcare industry is shaking. Security details for CEOs have tripled. Boardrooms are tense. The touchables finally feel touched. For the first time in history, the people in the high towers are afraid of the people in the streets. Luigi Mangione delivered his message. He etched it onto bullets. He wrote it in the headlines. But at what cost? A man is dead. A family is grieving. And a brilliant young life is rotting in a cell. So we are left with the question that will define 2025. Is Luigi Mangione a violent criminal, a narcissist with a God complex? Or is he a symptom, a side effect of a sick society that values profits over patience? In a cyberpunk world, the line between villain and anti-hero is blurring. The gun was printed. The pain was real. The outcome is tragic. What do you think about the new evidence? Do you see a killer, or do you see a consequence? Let me know in the comments below. This story isn't over. The trial is just beginning. Subscribe and activate the bell, because we will be following every glitch in this system. See you in the shadows.